Welcome everyone to today's webinar, Conversational AI, Harnessing Generative AI with Oracle Digital Assistant. My name is Nikki. I'm a marketing event manager for the developer initiative here at Oracle. And today we're excited to dive into the world of conversational AI and unveil the potential of Oracle Digital Assistant. They have also set up a Slack channel, Cloud Coaching North America, in our developer workspace that you can access at the QR code or the link on the screen. This channel will remain open after the webinar for you to contact us directly whenever you have any questions. Before I pass it off to presenters, I wanted to let you know we have some more amazing webinars just like this one coming up. You can check them out either with a QR code or the link in the chat. And today's webinar will be presented by Stephen and Cypriya. Without further ado, I'll pass it to Stephen.
Again, we're going to be discussing conversational AI, harnessing Gen AI with Oracle Digital Assistant. And with me today is Cypriya. I'll start off with a demo or a PowerPoint of our services and so forth. And then Cypriya will be nice enough to actually demo and walk through the setup in ODA and Gen AI. So today's agenda, we're going to go through a quick review of the Oracle AI portfolio, remind everyone of all the AI services and offerings that we offer in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Then I'll introduce the ATOM chatbot, as we call it. It's an ODA chatbot that we've named ATOM. We'll cover the features and capabilities of the chatbot. Again, there's a lot of more features and availability than what we're going to cover today, but this is an example of what you can do with ODA and Gen AI. We'll quickly cover the implementation of it, how it's set up, and then we'll go right into the live demo, and Cypriya will walk through interacting with the chatbot, how it's set up behind the scenes, and so forth. So to remind everyone, Oracle has an extensive AI portfolio. If you start at the top, we have applications that have AI embedded into them. From an AI services perspective, and we'll touch on some of these today during the webinar, we have our OCI Gen AI service that's available. We also have OCI Gen AI agents that are new and currently in beta. We have Digital Assistant, or ODA as we like to call it. Then there's the different AI services that allow you to interact with speech. So speech to text, we have language translation, we have vision to handle images and image classification and object detection. And then we have document understanding service, which allows you to summarize documents, extract text out of it, and so forth. From a data platform perspective, we have several AI features. We have the OCI Data Science service, which allows you to do Jupyter notebooks, do Python coding, AI stuff in there. From the database perspective, we have Autonomous Database with Select AI. We also have the Oracle Database, which was recently announced in version 23 AI, which offers vector search. We have the MySQL HeatWave vector store, and then OCI data labeling, which is also used with some of the AI services above. And lastly, we have a whole catalog of infrastructure related to AI, compute, bare metal, and VMs that can leverage the NVIDIA GPUs. We also have OCI superclusters. And lastly, block, object, and file storage in high-performance compute file systems to round out our AI portfolio. We also have some partners, which we'll comment on that in a minute, with Cohere and Llama. From an OCI generative AI service, if you're new to it, we offer out-of-the-box pre-trained models that are available without any setup. They're called playgrounds, but they support Meta and Cohere LLMs. They're available for you to try out in your OCI tenancy. If you find that you need to do some customization to those models, you can bring your own data into the OCI Gen AI service and do additional training on it to help get the results you need. These services are fully hosted in OCI. So we're hosting the Meta and Cohere LLMs inside of OCI. And that's important because if you read the last point, customers and you all want to keep your data inside of OCI. It's private, secure. We host the models, and Oracle does not send that information outside of the OCI ecosystem. So we don't send information to Cohere or Meta. Also, quickly, for those new to ODA or Oracle Digital Assistant, I just wanted to walk through a quick overview of that. There's a lot more to that than just one slide, but just to remind everyone that ODA or the chatbot, connects to and integrates with backend systems. Whether in this case it's going to be OCI Gen AI mainly, but we connect with all your ERP systems. Once the chatbot is developed, we can configure that in channels if you have different clients that you want to access that chatbot from, whether it's Teams, Slack, Skype, whatever. We can implement that chatbot inside of an existing application or a website. You know, uh, just to remind everyone, chatbots, have dialogue flow execution. They handle, or it handles the context of the conversation. It remembers the conversation throughout to offer a seamless, integration with whatever you're working with and talking with. And then lastly, and what we're going to cover a lot today is using a chatbot or an ODA with conversational AI engine, OCI Gen AI, allows you to enhance that conversation and have a conversation with not only anything that you want to talk about in a natural language, but also tie that with data that you want to bring to the table. So what is Atom? Atom, again, is simply, or not simply, but Atom is an implementation of an ODA chatbot that accesses the OCI Gen AI services. It doesn't access them all, but we'll show you that it accesses several of them and we'll show you what you can do with that. So when I use the term Atom, I'll use it interchangeably to mean ODA or Atom, but Atom is our name of our chatbot. It'll show you the capabilities that are available and how to interact with the Gen AI services. And those are a couple screenshots. I think Sapri is going to demo the one at the bottom, and if we have time permitting, we'll demo the top one too. But the key features with Atom or the ODA chatbot that we're going to cover today, is again, it's a conversational interface. We talk to people, we talk to, people, and we want to be able to do that conversational conversation inside of a chatbot. Well, with ODA and Gen AI, it allows you to do that. The responses are timely, they're efficient, they are context sensitive to what you ask. And then also with the features, we'll show you the ability to upload documents, PDF or text, and even images. And then we can have conversations about what's with the content in those documents. So we can get a document from somebody, upload it, and then ask questions about that. And the chatbot will keep the context within the documents that we upload. And again, the chat feature itself. So think of these as we're going to go chat feature and then process attachment or resume. We're interacting with Gen AI services, which are hosting Cohere and Llama LLMs. These models are very tuned and good at understanding, our conversation, our words, our slang nuances. So it allows us to kind of speak the way we normally speak. It interprets it and then comes back to the response. And since we're in an ODA environment, the context is important. The conversation is going to stay within the context of what we're talking about. And then lastly, since these models are always being trained and updated, there's vast amounts of data that support these models behind the scenes, which allows us to get the information that we want. The second one is conversing with your documents, your text documents. And the concept of document grounding is important because what it does is Atom will, once you upload a document, all the conversation that you have is now relative to that document that you uploaded. So you can upload it and then ask questions about it. You can ask details about it, and then the responses will be relative to the document that we just uploaded. And then two other features that we may get to, but I just want to call them out is just like text documents, we can also upload images. We can upload an image, and on that image might be words and might be objects. With the OCI Gen AI services, once we upload that document into the chatbot, uh, it'll process that document, retrieve information about it, and then give you a summary of what it found. And then again, once it's processed the image, you can then ask questions about it, and it's context sensitive again to the image that you uploaded. And then lastly, we're talking about text documents and images, but there's also audio and video capabilities in our AI services around text translation, text to speech, or speech to text. My apologies. You can translate text. You can also grab all the text out of an audio file and then ask our services to summarize what was in there, and it'll give you a summarization of what was done. And so I just wanted to call out those key capabilities that are possible within ODA and the OCI Gen AI services. From an implementation perspective, I won't get into the details of the install, but from a high level, if you're new to ODA and OCI Gen AI, first we obviously have to provision an ODA instance. Once that's provisioned and all the policies are in place to access it, and then what we do is ODA allows for you to set up RESTful services to access the OCI Gen AI services. And so what we do is in this screenshot, we're using the Gen AI inference generate text URL, which is the REST endpoint for that feature. And that's going to be used in the chat option. And then along with that is a payload that we'll send to the Gen AI service. And then Gen AI will process the request and then send it back to the chatbot. But we just wanted to call that out. And then once the service is set up in the chatbot, then we can create a skill on it, train it, and then when we're ready, we can implement the chatbot into a channel. I believe we're using a Visual Builder application today, but there's many different places or channels that you can implement ODA. And Supriya will walk into that in greater detail here in a few minutes. And then lastly, if you're interested in setting this chatbot up, Atom, we have a live labs that is available. We'll send that out with all the information post webinar as well. But we have a live labs that will walk you through how to set up ODA, how to configure it to access OCI Gen AI, and then you can start exploring and playing with that in your own tenancy or environments. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Cypriya, and she'll walk through the digital assistant setup and interact with it and show you what capabilities are available.
So the first thing which we are going to do is that we are going to take a look at what the demonstration we have. So here we do have like an HR assistant. So let's consider that I'm working as an HR in Oracle. Right. So what I'm going to do is that I would come to the HR application where my chatbot is hosted, and I see that I have an assistant that is Atom, who is available 24/7, 365 days to answer my questions. So let's say I would like to create a job description for a specific profile called Oracle Solutions Engineer 2. So probably I might wanted to generate a job description which is tailored to the Oracle sales team with at least like the candidate should have at least like one programming knowledge expertise. So what I would do is like I'll come to this application. That's where my chatbot is hosted. And then I would click on this Ask Any Question. Here, once we ask any question, so then the chatbot is responding, how can I assist you today? And please provide me more details. So probably I might wanted to like generate a job description, and then this should be tailored for the sales team. And as I mentioned, like the candidate should have at least like one programming knowledge expertise. So here, the chatbot is able to use generative AI feature in the backend, and it is able to create a job description for me. Here, like as I see that there is like a job description, there is a key responsibility category as well as qualifications category. But then let's suppose I might want to add like a skills section. And then I also want to mention that probably I might need like a DevOps experience, which is like we need to treat that as a mandatory experience. So I'm going to update this, and then the chatbot is able to provide me with the updated job description. So think about it, like how easy my job is, right? So here you go. This is the complete job description, and it also has the skill section, and wherein you're mentioning that like DevOps tools or technology is a mandatory requirement for this role. So let's suppose I might want to like process a certain candidate's profile, right? So I might have a lot of difficulty in like logging into the opening each PDF, and then probably like taking a look at each of the candidates' profiles, experience, and so on. So for that purpose, I would like click on process candidate profile, and then I'll upload a PDF. So here I do have like a couple of resumes with me. So let me upload this resume and find out like what's Devin's experience look like. Here, as you can see that the chatbot is able to summarize my entire resume, right? So the Devin's resume is uploaded, and then it summarized the entire resume in seconds. So let's suppose like probably I might just want to know whether the candidate has like a scripting or programming language expertise. Here, in the bulleted fashion, the Devin's profile expertise is all listed here, so that like the user is able to read through this and then understand like what scripting and programming languages expertise they actually have. So probably I might want to like take a look at another candidate's profile, right? So I'll let me go ahead and process another candidate's profile. I'll go ahead and upload this PDF. And then I have another profile which with me, and this person. Let's take a look at what expertise they have. Looks like the candidate has a bachelor's in chemistry, whereas she has done a lot of work on Power BI and a lot of analytics, right? So let's find out whether like this candidate can be like a good fit for data analyst role. All right, so looks like this candidate has leveraged tools like Power BI and Hyperion and so on. So the chatbot is able to understand and be able to provide you the necessary responses here. But then I might also want to check whether Susan has like Kubernetes experience. Probably that is also important for this role. Um, Looks like Susan doesn't have an expertise. Like the chatbot clearly mentions that no, this person doesn't have experience in the Kubernetes platform. So if you take a look at this entire scenarios which we went through, right? So it's a lot of task for HR to go through each profile and do all of this. But then like the chatbot is making all of this super easy for them, right? So let's do one thing. Let's take a look at how we've configured this chatbot, and probably take a look at the Atom project and then see how you can build this same chatbot by yourself. So when you go to the Oracle Cloud Console, if you're logging in for the first time, you'll see that this is how the tenancy would look like. So the first thing which we want to do is that we would like to create a digital assistant platform, right? So let's go ahead and then create an instance of ODA. Here, like we have analytics and AI. So this is where we find the digital assistant. Let's take a look. And here I've already created an instance, but then if you want to create a new instance, you can click on this plus create button, and then you can select either a development shape or like a production shape, give it a name, and then like you'll be able to create the instance. So once you create an instance, so the next thing which we want to do is that we would like to go ahead and then take a look at the generative AI, which is available within Oracle Cloud. Here, as you notice that I'm logging into the Chicago region, but if you log into other regions, so this service is unavailable at this moment. But then like when you go to US Midwest Chicago, so this is where like you can check your generative AI service. Here under the AI services, you can click on the generative AI. And so this is the uh, generative AI overview. And like if you want to navigate multiple options on the left pane, you can check it out. So as you know, generative AI is like a fully managed service for seamlessly integrating like versatile large language models. So the user, when let's say if a user is able to send an input, the LLM model performs some analysis, summarizes, transforms, and extracts this information or classify the text based on the request from the user. So the response is sent back to the user based on the format requested by the user. So let's suppose like let's go to the playground feature, and you'll notice that there is like generation, there is summarization and embedding. So let's take a look at generation. Here, like we have multiple command line models. You have like Cohere command. We do have Meta-Llama as well as like Cohere command light model. But what is the difference, right? So in Cohere model, like it allows around like 52 billion parameters, whereas Meta-Llama allows like 72 billion. And if you wanted to like get accurate, get speedy responses, and then like with less accuracy, then probably you might just go with command line model. Similarly, we do have like summarization model. Let's suppose like we do have like a Cohere a summarization model and embedding model as well. So embedding is wherein like you're able to perform like text classifications or text clustering. So in the generation model, let's take a look at this. Let's suppose like I want to create like a product pitch for this, right? So I'm just going to here we are using like an existing example, but then like you can go ahead and then type out your own example and then generate some output. So this is what we are going to use. Like even in the Atom project, the example which I just showed you, in the backend, it's using the same generative AI model available within the Oracle Cloud, and that's how it's able to give you the responses. So on the right side, you notice that there is like some tokens, temperature, top P, top K. So what is this? What is this all about, right? So token is nothing but a token is like a word or a part of the word or a punctuation. Let's say, for example, I just say like apple or probably friendship. So apple is like one token, whereas friendship has like friend and ship, right? So this has two tokens. So probably a word might have like one or two tokens, and you can have up to like 4,000 tokens here. And temperature is wherein like you're telling telling the model that like you can be random, right? So you're saying the level of randomness used to generate the output text is the temperature. So when you make it as zero, it gives like more accurate results. Whereas like if you increase, let's say if I want to write a poetry, so I want to make it more creative. So then I increase the temperature. So probably like 5 or probably 4, so on, right? So I can update the temperature. Similarly, top P and top K. Top P is wherein like your it's like a VIP ranking of words. It keeps things sensible, but can limit the creativity. But then like top P is wherein like you're having more flexibility in the word probability. Similarly, like you can click on this, hover on this button, the eye icon here, the information icon, and you'll see the clear description about each of these parameters. So if you notice that there is like a view model, and here you're going to use these OCID. So just keep in mind that you might have to use this OCID, that is Oracle Cloud Identifier, while you're using your API call. And further, if you want to check the code, like you can check your Java as well as Python code for you to like directly embed this code in your own in your own code in your existing code. All right. So now that we have like a high level understanding about what a generative AI is all about, so the next step is that we are going to like create a dynamic group. So what is a dynamic group? So let's go ahead and then go to our identity section, and this is where we are going to go to your dynamic groups, right? So let's go to domains here, and then like you could create your own dynamic groups. So you could like create your own dynamic group, and then you can give that group certain permissions. So you can create a policy to permit the instances in these groups, in order to make API calls against like OCI services. So how will like a chatbot and generative AI service interact with each other? So it is using something called as dynamic groups. So that's how you're able to make that interaction possible. So we've created a dynamic group, and in that dynamic group, then we are going to add some policies to that dynamic group. Here, let's go to our root compartment, and then you will see that I've created like a policy called as FN. So the FN func, so this is my dynamic group, which I'm using. And then I've added some policies here. So if you notice the last three policies, you're saying that allow any user to use AI service, generative AI family, and then in the tenancy, where the request principal ID, that means like this is your ODA instance ID. So whenever you generate like an ODA instance, so it's going to create this ID. You're going to copy this ID, and then you can use it within your policy. So you're allowing access only to this particular ODA instance. Similarly, you're allowing any user to use like a generative AI family in the tenancy, and then you're giving this policy. Similarly, like you're also adding another policy for AI service language family, so that like you're able to allow any user to use this particular policy for this particular ODA instance. All right, so once we create like a dynamic group, so the next thing which we will be doing is that like we'll be configuring our skill. So as Steve mentioned, like when we start referring to like an instance, right, a digital assistant. So digital assistant is like a master bot wherein it has like multiple child bots together. So let me go ahead and then first like log into this instance, and then I'll take you guys through this console. So here, like when I refer to the digital assistant, it's like a master bot. It has multiple child bots together. So when I refer to the child bot, each bot is treated like a skill. So when you click on when you open the digital assistant console, it's going to look something like this. However, like when you click on the navigation on the top left, you'll see that there is like a development tab. You could like create analytics, and then you can like configure your own settings and so on. However, the first thing which we might be interested in, that like we need to create like an API, right? So you want to connect to your generative API service. Here, like there is two sections. So one is the REST service, another is LLM service. Here, what we would like to do is that we would like to create our own LLM service. So let's say generative AI. So I'm going to present it for like DevRel. So I'm just adding it as a service. And then this is the endpoint, like generative AI US Chicago. So this is the endpoint which I'm going to use. And then like I'm going to create like a post method. So once I create like a post method, what happens is that like the next thing which I need to do is I need to add authentication type. So authentication type is like I'm going to pick from the list of authentications. I can select like OCI resource principal. So the resource principle enables the resources to be able to authorize and it is able to perform actions, right? So it is able to authenticate, and the ODA is able to interact with your backend generative AI service with the help of OCI resource principle. And once we set this authentication as this, and then we are going to update our body. Here, like you can see that there is like use dialog, edit dialog feature. Click on this, and then you're going to copy the body here. So when you take a look at this, you see that there is like a compartment ID. You're setting the prompt and then your max tokens temperature, so which we touched upon while we are going through the generative AI console. So here, like we just giving some random prompt and then asking the chatbot to respond. Here, like you need to update this compartment ID with your own compartment ID. So let's take a look. Here, this is my compartment ID, and this is the OCID which I created. So I'm going to copy and then use that here. All right, so this is my compartment ID. And then as I said before, we need to use the model ID which was generated. Let's go ahead to your generation model and then take a look. Here, like we are using, there are multiple models here, but then for the purpose of this demonstration, let's see this model ID, copy this, and then use the same model ID here. So this is our OCI generative model ID, and then we are going to click on apply. So once we do this, here it gives you an option for you to test the chatbot, test the model from here itself, like whether it is able to connect to your backend application or not. So here you see that like because we have configured the policies, it is able to give you back some response because like it is able to successfully authorize and get back the response from the generative AI model. All right, so once we do this, you could further use this same model in your existing system. So now that we touched upon how like how we have configured, so what we'll do is like let's take a look at our existing chatbot, right? So here, like what we are doing is like we are configuring the intents and then entities and the dialog flow. So these are the three most important things which we need to do, right? So before that, like I thought like probably I might be able to show you how you can build your chatbot from the scratch, right? So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and then import a skill. Here, like we did have like an export. You could also import the skill or probably clone an existing skill and so on, right? So while it is importing, let me show you how you can expose the skill to the outside world. Let's say, for example, I want to like add my own channel, right? So let's say I want to create a channel for Atom, right? So, and then like here you have different types of channel types, Facebook Messenger, Slack, and so on. Here I'm going to pick like Oracle Web Channel because I'm going to deploy this Oracle Web, I'm deploying this chatbot on a web channel. Here, I'm going to give the allowed domains as star. The reason being like I want to expose it to any domains, but if you want to customize to a specific domain, you could absolutely do that as well. And once you do that, you could go ahead and then create it. And what happens is like once you do the Atom dev, then you'll have to route this Atom dev skill to specific skill which you just created. Here we just imported this Atom dev range skill. So let's take a look. Here like there are like intents, entities, and dialog flows. As I said, intent is nothing but like the intention of the user. So that means like let's say I want to like process my candidate information. So the intention is to process the candidate, right? So that is my intent. But then like I would like to get to know more about the Atom skill, or probably I might want to ask any question to the chatbot. So I need to add the intent as ask any question, right? So let me, if I want to like train this chatbot, I could further like add some utterances. So let's say ask any question, or probably like just ask question can be an utterance. So that means like you're adding more utterances so that like the chatbot knows. So if somebody asks any question, I need to route to this particular flow, right? So I need to instruct the chatbot saying if the user is asking if the user's intention is to ask a question, so route to this particular flow, right? So that's what we are doing here. And here, then the next thing is that like I need to process a candidate's profile, right? So I'm going to like add some inputs like processing a candidate's profile or process resume, right? So I can add these as some of the utterances. And when you do this, like you'll observe on the right hand side, there is a train button, right? So we'll add just one more utterance and then we'll go ahead and then train it. So once you click on this train button, there are like two options, trainer HD and trainer TM. Trainer HD is like for linguistic based model. That means like if you have fewer number of utterances, you use this. But then trainer TM is like for like advanced machine learning model. So once you train the chatbot, then what you could potentially do is like you can test the chatbot. Like let's say probably like process resume, right? So we just added this utterance. So that means like it is going to take me to the attachment flow. Or otherwise, like in case if I just say hi, then it needs to take me to the atom menu, right? So that's what we're going to do here. And then here in the dialog flow, so dialog flow is wherein like you're asking the user, the chatbot, to be able to provide the more customized answers. So just the way Steve has mentioned while he's presenting the key components of the chatbot, there like you did have like dialog flow execution. So that's where like you're mentioning like memory driven and context driven conversations, so that like the chatbot is able to provide like more customized responses, more personalized responses back to the user. All right, so the next thing which we plan to do is that we are going to go to your components and then we'll come back to the dialog flow very soon. Here, like you can add your own service. Let's say, for example, I want to create my own LLM service, right? So what I could do is like, I'll just say LLM, and then I can mention the component type as probably like LLM transformation. And then in the component section, I'll just give it a name, let's say. And then here, like you can see that there is generative AI service. In that, I can pick any of these services. Let's say I want to like use generative text for Cohere model, and then I can enable component login. So this logging feature is enabling you to gather all the logs in case if there are any crash reports or if there are any logs, it's going to like log all of these information. So you could like create your own LLM service. It's as simple as this. So once it's currently getting deployed. So once this is deployed, you'll notice that like you can also check what the backend looks like. So currently it's loading, so it's going to take some time. Yeah, looks like it is still deploying. All right, so let's go click on the dialog flow, right? So the first thing which we need to do is like, once we tested the utterances, the next thing which we need to do is like, when I say hi, then let's see what the chatbot responds. Let's say probably we can ask the question like, what can you do? And then let's see what the chatbot responds. So it's going to take some time because like it's still loading. Let's confirm whether this finished loading, right? Let's go ahead and then click on configuration section. So the next thing which we need to do is click on configuration, and then we need to route this configuration. So let's say click on this button, the edit button, and then route to the LLM which you would like. So let's say I want to route it to your generative AI model. Okay. So once this is done, let's go ahead and then now check how it works. here, like, and when I say hi, then it needs to respond to you saying like, hi, I'm AI assistant. How can I help you today? And then chat with Atom and then process attachments. So here, like probably I might want to like update this saying like ask a question, right? So I'll just update this menu item as ask question. And then I can also mention as process candidates profile. And then click on apply. Now let's take a look. So it says, how can I assist you today? And then when you click on back to the menu, it says that I'm AI assistant chatbot, and here is a large language model which is created by Cohere, and like what can I do for you? So probably if you click on ask a question, then it needs to ask like, how can I assist you today, right? So that's what, so when you look at the preview on the right side, this is how the skill is being routed. Like it's going to the atom menu, and then you're saying like click on the button. It is taking you to the buttons menu, wherein like it's showing you ask a question and process candidate's profile. And then when you clicked on the ask question, it is taking you to the chat flow, right? So this is how we are configuring it. So you can ask any question and it'll provide you with the necessary responses back to the user. All right, so this is how your chatbot interaction is happening in the backend. But let's see how we have actually configured. So when I said hi or what can I do, then it is taking me to the buttons menu. And then here you notice that like it says that I'm AI assistant. How can I help you today? And you're mentioning like two things like ask question and process candidates profile. And then further, like if I want to chat, then it is invoking an LLM. So here, like you could build your own prompt. Let's say like, please respond, how can I assist you today? And then like you can also generate some output here. So this is like the output which is generated, and you can test it, like you can give it more creative responses by giving the parameters from between like 0 to 1. All right, after I do that, the next thing is that like I want to process the attachment. So the way now that we have seen the chat flow, let's see how we are actually processing the attachment. So when I upload an attachment, here like we are going through something called as custom component. So there are certain capabilities of the chatbot which can be performed, but then like let's say if I'm asking a question and to spit out the answer, it's very easy to do it, right? But then if I wanted like the chatbot to like parse the PDF or like probably do something more beyond the capability of the chatbot, I can create my own custom component code. So for that, like I can go to the component section here, and I can add my own service. Like you could create an embedded container, either upload like a Node.js package. So this is created using the Oracle's bots Node SDK. So if you want to like understand a little bit more in detail and how you can create like a basic component, we do have like documentations on that. We could also share it after the webinar is complete. So this is how you can create your own custom component. Like you can use this Oracle's bots Node SDK and then create your own custom component. So this is nothing but like a Node.js package. And then with this package, you're able to process the attachment. So I have downloaded this attachment, and then like just want to explain like what exactly is happening in the background. Here, let's open up a terminal. Here, like you have two sections. One is the modules export section. So this is where like you're giving some input to the back to the user, to the chatbot, or to the custom component, and then you're getting some output using the invoke component. So here, like we are giving like process.attachments. So this is the component name, and then you're giving passing the input. So the input is nothing but the PDF URL which you're passing to the backend. So once you give the PDF, once you're uploading the PDF, it is able to get that data, like you're taking that data.text and then storing that value in the result component. And once the result is stored, like this result is in turn set as a variable, as a result variable. So if you want to see how all of this is working, let's take a look, right? So let's go back to our chatbot and then let's see how it works in the backend. Okay. So one more step I need to do is that like I'll go ahead and then upload the component. Let me go to this section. And then here, like I could also package this by using like npm pack. And once I package this component, so it creates like a process attachment component here. And then this is the component I'm going to use to upload, right? So this is the component I will use. And then once I upload it, so let's see that whether this deployment is complete. So till then, let's take a look at how we are actually configuring this dialog flow. So we have used like a prompt component. That means like you're saying, please upload your file, which needs to be a PDF file under 3,000 words. And then you're spitting out saying like upload is successful, and you're summarizing it. And then you're processing the attachment. So this is where like once this custom component is loaded, then you'll see the process attachment, which will just fix it right now. So this is currently uploading. So you'll still see an error message, but then let's proceed with what we have here. We do have like an invoke component, LLM component, and this is where like you can invoke like GenAI LLM component or GenAI truncate LLM component. Here we are using the GenAI truncate LLM component, and then you're sending a prompt. Like you could add your own prompts here. That means like you're asking the model to summarize, right? So here, when you're uploading a candidate's profile, you're saying summarize, and then you're passing the result variable. That is the parsed PDF file. And then this is summarizing your text, and it is giving back the response. All right. So when you're having like once this response is spit out, then you're saying like go back to the main menu. So then it is taking you back to the Atom menu dialog flow, right? Let's go ahead and check whether this is ready or not. As you notice that like there is like a process attachment, and currently the status is ready. So we'll go back and then let's try to fix this. Here, like there is like custom component which just got uploaded, and you see that there is like process attachment. And then let's take a look and see if how everything works, right? And then let's go to your process candidates profile. And then we'll go ahead and attach a file. In the chatbot preview, it doesn't allow you to upload your file. So what we'll do is like I've uploaded this same PDF file with Devin's resume into object storage. So I'm using the same object storage URL to test it out. Here, because everything is configured correctly, now it says that like upload is successful summarizing, and then you'll see like what is happening in the background. And on the right side, you also observe that you're passing this attachment variable, and the attachment variable contains this the object storage URL. And then in the result variable, that means like what you have observed is like you're setting the result variable with the parsed file, right? So that contains the Devin's the complete resume. Here, like in the view JSON, you can see more details here. And also in the LLM interaction, you could see what is the summary which was being generated by the system. So this is how we are configuring our Atom project itself. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer. So there are like some other capabilities as well, which I would like to show you. So let's take a look. Let me go ahead and then show you another component which we were working on. So what I've done is like for the interest of time, like I have said that I've just went through the flow, and then I use like analyze piece section, and then I'm uploading this TED talk just to see like what other capabilities are possible with the help of the chatbot, right? So and I'm trying to analyze the speech. So once I uploaded the TED talk, then it was processing the file, and once we process the file, and here is a complete transcript of the job. So this is the TED talk, and then like it gives you the complete summary of the TED talk. Similarly, like you could also use like document understanding service, or you just think about like a specific use case. If you have a use case in mind, you can definitely customize it and then come up and learn about digital assistant and then be able to deploy this digital assistant. So we do offer a Code Innovate program, which we will be talking about, which will help you to get started on this journey.
And I'm going to just talk about the Code Innovate program for a minute. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you may not. We offer this program here at Oracle. Supriya and myself are part of the Code Innovate team. And what is a Code Innovate? In the simplest form, we like to use the analogy of a trip to Legoland. So you want to go to Legoland, you want to build something, you're not sure how to build it. You have a bunch of pieces in a bag. You sit down with a master builder for a period of time, and at the end of that time, you have a result. That's what we like to say is a Code Innovate. Um, it's an opportunity for you to work with Oracle. It's a 5 half-day online event. Um, it helps you get introduced to the cloud services. Our engineers work with your team. The key is that we leverage your use cases. We ask, well, what do you want to explore? What do you want to learn? What do you want to build in OCI? Um, and then we work with you to build that. Um, the key is you'll hear this over and over again. What is your use case? What are you interested in working on? And once we establish that, then our engineers work with you for 4 hours a day for 5 days straight. Your hands are on the keyboard building, and we're coaching and guiding you along the way. Not only do you get to build something that's relevant for your business, but you're also getting hands-on training at the exact same time. And then at the end of the event, we have what's called or what we call as a first pass prototype or a minimal viable product. It's a start of your development of your application or whatever you want to work on. Um, there's a lot of services available in OCI. These are just some of the use cases we've worked on in the past on Code Innovates. A lot of stuff around analytics, whether it's OAC, um, predictive analytics around OML in the database, machine learning. We do a lot with cloud native stuff, CI/CD pipelines, Terraform if you're interested in deployment of your services. And from an integrations perspective, we support OIC, Oracle Integration Cloud. Also, modern apps like Apex and Visual Builder, VBCS. Also, chatbots. Obviously, we just saw that today. But there's a lot of services that we support in a Code Innovate. And lastly, if you want to do this or you're interested in having a conversation to see if a Code Innovate could help you, you can either email the email that we have here to start having a conversation around what you're interested in exploring.
If you like today's session, we'd love to invite you back to check out our upcoming events. You have a good day, and we hope to see you soon.